What's your favorite place to throw an event?
New Orleans is always at the top of my list. I won't say a party guy because that's not who I am, but I love bringing a party with purpose.
Welcome to this episode of Now Boarding. We have with us a guest today. Mr. Todd Schwartz is joining us. Thank you, Todd. I have a little intro to read for you because we don't bring just anyone on this podcast, okay? Today, we're joined by Todd Schwartz. He's an experienced event strategist and leader in the event marketing and meetings industry. He began his career in higher education administration. Congratulations, sir. Thank you for your service. Before moving into corporate events, he's known for blending event operations, creative strategy, and an audience-first design to build experience that drive connection, engagement, and real business impact. So he's partnered with CEOs, CMOs, CXOs, all the C's, right? Senior executive teams across tech, financial, security services, wealth management, professional services. He's been everywhere. Legal, life sciences, creating immersive, memorable experiences that support the brand revenue and relationship goals. His work sits at the intersection of event marketing, experimental design, business strategy, and helping organizations translate their message into moments that matter. Okay? On an on an as requested basis, he's also taught event management, spoken on panels, and served as a subject matter expert in the field. So mentoring emerging professionals, championing purposeful leadership. And we're excited to have you with us here today, Todd.
Well, thank you. That was a mouthful, I know. I appreciate it very much, though, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, we want to make sure we get all the press we can out there, because the truth is that we're all managing our own brands every day, no matter where we go.
Exactly.
And what better way to get a little brand management on a pod? You know what I mean? So, how did you start your career in events?
Well, first, before I go there, I just wanted to thank you both very much and for the opportunity to be here. I'm very appreciative of it. I got my experience some time ago, but I wanted to really just integrate the fact that I love events and I love the event people that are in it. They're my favorite people because we're the only group who really can talk about strategy, audience psychology, and the Where's Waldo hunt for speakers. Like, where is the speaker? We're looking for him. It happens quite a bit, or her, in the audience. And of course, the art of navigating a whole bunch of AV surprises. It's a one-stop shop. It happens all the time. I've spent my career building experiences that bring people together and solve business problems and support even broader event marketing goals, whether it's driving engagement or shaping perception or strengthening relationships. Sometimes it means designing a high-touch executive summit, and sometimes it means even sprinting across a venue in an elf outfit at a client holiday party. I can get to that later because there is a story
You'll do
there.
it all.
Yeah. One-stop shop, like I said. But we'll save that story for later if you want. But what keeps me energized is honestly the blend of strategy, creativity, and logistics. The way event marketing and design really shift how people feel, how they think, and how they connect. So I'm excited to dig in what's evolving in 2026 and why, honestly, this industry really does still inspire me every single day, and I built a career out of it. And with that, I did start in events, actually in higher education administration at the college area, the college scene. Not in events, but in admissions and financial aid. I was an admissions counselor, financial aid counselor, and even in that role, I found myself coordinating professional staff and leadership events, bringing departments together and bringing experiences together that really helped different departments and people connect. That was my first really introduction into the field and in the industry. even though I really didn't recognize it at the time because, again, I was going into administration. My real pivot, though, happened during a 3 day citywide celebration where there was about probably 1.5 million people in the Flats area, in a waterfront area where EY, Ernst& Young, was a sponsor. And I was helping on the planning side. I was there for 3 days straight. And afterwards, they said, you know what? We really like you. You should apply for our open event coordinator role. So I did, and I got it, and off and running I went. I completely fell into the field. I love the mix of strategy, creativity, and logistics. And I've just been really fortunate to be in the field for quite a while. And I had some considerations with some really incredible opportunities. I mean, right now the Olympics are going on. It reminded me about I had an opportunity to be on the Nike Olympics events team in Portland, and also in an executive events position at ExxonMobil while I was in Dallas. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pursue them at the time due to family commitments, but the conversations actually reminded me of how many different paths this industry really can take and how many, where things can open and really how much I love the work along with my colleagues and my friends. So I know this is a little bit lengthy, but I really worked with a lot of different brands in my career, like Ernst& Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers, limited brands, pharmaceuticals like Merck, Eli Lilly, JP Morgan Chase, Oracle, Cisco, AmLaw 100 law firms, and private equity and wealth management groups. And all of them really are looking for the same thing, creating immersive, memorable experiences that really support event marketing and demand generation, but also relationship building, all while staying budget conscious and focused on impact. And one of the things I'm probably most grateful of is that the work allowed me to give back. So like we talked about before, about the leadership piece, as you've already shared, I've taught event management and spoken on some panels, and served as a subject matter expert for different organizations. And most recently had a college student in hospitality reaching out to me for a leadership project and tell me she saw me not just as a professional in the field, but as a mentor and as an example of purposeful leadership. So I was really touched and humbled by that. So moments like that make me really appreciate and remind me why I love the field, because I'm giving back, because we're always learning, we're always evolving, and we're always lifting each other up. COVID is a huge piece of that. Our whole hospitality industry was decimated at that point, but we volleyed back, we revived, making meetings happen again, and meeting in person, which was really imperative, making meetings alive. So there's always, an opportunity to pivot and come out of things on a positive note, and that's what I like to bring.
Nice. Well, working in, education administration sounds like it's probably an event every day. So I think you were well prepared for that pivot. But good. That's great to hear.
Awesome. Todd, I have to know what's your favorite place to throw an event?
So, that's a great question, and I actually love it a lot. New Orleans is always at the top of my list.
Really?
Yeah, I won't say a party guy because that's not who I am, but I love bringing a party with purpose, I guess you could say. And right now, especially during Mardi Gras week, the energy's unmatched. The people are warm, the food is incredible, and nothing beats really creating a second line, which is this big, long dance or conga line through the French Quarter with a big corporate group. I've done that a few times and I love it. And the hotelier and vendor community, they're some of the best and the most genuine creative partners you'll work with. And I want to give a shout out to one that I really enjoy, and that's the NOLA DMC group. Fantastic group of people, and they bring everything to the table. So they're great, along with the Ritz-Carltons and other partners and hoteliers there. I pause a second because there's also some others that I love. Chicago is another favorite. There's the Langham Hotel and the Peninsula Hotel. They're stunning any time of the year, especially over the holidays. Boston's great, especially around Copley Square. And if you've never taken a day trip to Salem with a group in October, which I've done before,
Oh, I want to do that so bad.
it's great. It's great, isn't it? Yeah, I've had that before, and it's fantastic. We're taking a group out to the Cape in the summer, Really great experiences to connect people and bring them together. And then also, I'm connected with so many luxury properties and many different hoteliers across the U.S. and abroad. I've done programs at the St. Regis Deer Valley, for winter programs, the Mandarin Oriental in Miami Beach. For waterfront events, I've done that. A full buyout of the Versace mansion, which is fantastic. Waldorf Astoria Monarch Beach in San Francisco is great, where the views do all the work for you when the sun sets there with a group of 300. You just have a glass of wine and you're good. So it's fantastic. I really think, honestly, though, every city brings its own personality and charm, from Napa to Boston. And that's what's really hard to make one destination or one city like, the city, because there's always something to do at any given point. And I try to get creative in bringing all those pieces. Like, let's bring a group to Boston in the fall and go to Salem and do our program and immerse them in a really great experience. So I enjoy doing that and putting all the puzzle pieces together.
I love that. I've always wanted to go to Salem because I'm like a Halloween person, so I love it. Another question, side note here, has anyone ever had a king cake
Uh,
from New Orleans?
yeah, I had to do actually a with a group of leadership team members a king cake tasting. So we ordered a few of them, and I literally ordered probably like 30 or 40 for all these people, and I had to send them all over the country. And we got on a huge Zoom call, and we were literally tasting on texture, on looks, packaging, and yeah, there's so many to choose from. But that's great. It was a great experience doing that one for sure.
That's
Great
great.
question.
So what do you think is an event trend that's really kind of gaining speed right now?
Sure. This is another great question. The industry right now is, seeing some shifts, especially in 2026. AI is one of them. AI and event tech are finally becoming practical tools in the workplace. They're just not, how would I say, shiny objects anymore. People are really embracing it. And these things are really actually making the attendee experience go smoother and make our teams more efficient. You're seeing smarter registration flows, event apps that feel more intuitive than before, engagement tools like Slido or Glisser that let people participate in real time and not waiting several minutes or seconds. There's networking platforms like Brella or Grip. They're using AI to match attendees to the right people. So a lot of behind the scene things. There's right now, I even saw something online the other day where some organization took ChatGPT with another piece of software that was AI influenced, and they just started making the two phones sort of talk to each other. So they were having their own conversations, and it just like it wouldn't stop. So it was pretty interesting with AI, and then trying to see what happens. So it's just the way the world is transitioning, and you have to get on the bandwagon, or not, you're going to be left behind. And I think that's with a lot of different sectors out there. Um, there's also different types of note taking capabilities and other things to make the experience wherever you're at a little more intuitive. So instead of typing everything, you can just take notes, and you can take something on your phone and it will lay it all out in a note fashion. And I'm sure some of you have experienced that already. The second shift, though, is really a move right now to have smaller, curated, high touch experiences. So, again, we're going back to Salem, a smaller group of, let's say, 25 or 40 versus 150. Let's take those people there and give them an experience where they can really connect, because people want some depth and not a whole bunch of volume. They want to have these meaningful conversations and not just a whole bunch of content, because these intimate types of programs are really forging stronger relationships and better business outcomes than some of the huge mega events that we used to rely on. And those programs have its place. It's not to say that they're totally going away at all, because I'm not saying that, but the smaller, more intimate programs are really coming up to speed. And the 2026 outlook is really, from what I'm seeing, is really stable, but it's also very selective. The cost, complexity, and the times are the biggest constraints. There's a lot of short turnaround times. Some friends, like I said, in New Orleans, they're getting things like a week out, and they're scrambling, which normally they get that type of a lead 6 months out or 2 months out. So the change is happening for sure. So event times are getting shorter, they're more efficient. Internal approvals are taking longer. There's a lot of red tape inside now. And there's a real push for simplification, especially in contracting. So on our side, we have to do a lot of contract negotiations. So we're trying to eliminate some of this red tape and some of the layers and just trying to own it more for those that are really experienced and versed in doing contracts. And of course, peer collaboration with our counterparts is key. Getting that network together, working with everybody. That's where we're headed. I have an example that I sort of found that I could share. It's a little in detail, but really what this all goes to say is that, like, here's an example. All of this connects right now to what many of us are referring to as the URL to IRL to URL journey. So what this means really is the URL is simply the digital world, right? We're talking social media, all the other things that are going on, how people first discover your first event through social, email, landing pages, or AI powered recommendations. The IRL means in real life, IRL, the in-person experience. So you're really getting to go to the content, the people, the energy, the moments that matter. And then we swing back to the URL, because that's the digital impact about the follow through. You go back to the on demand content, the AI generated notes, community engagement, and continued nurturing of the program. So that's just a simple example. And that's really it. It's really a continuous relationship. That's really what's happening as far as the trends go, is gaining a lot of steam and traction going into the whole AI stratosphere, we'll say. I know it was long
Yeah.
winded, but I wanted to share.
No. Thank you. No, it makes a lot of sense. I don't think there's hardly any industry that's untouched by AI at this point. So it is in some ways comforting to hear that the meeting space is coming along as well. What do you think?
It can be intimidating for sure. A lot of people, they know it's out there. They just don't know how to touch it. But man, I experienced that firsthand with a leadership team in Park City, Utah, at the St. Regis a couple years ago, and they used me as their guinea pig up on the stage. And I didn't know what half of the stuff was, but I just started dabbling into it, and little by little, I mean, you can create, all these different work streams and playbooks and agendas and putting pictures in there, movies, videos. It's crazy, and in a good way. But let's see what happens in a year or so. I mean, there's going to be some constraints. There's going to be some guardrails and a whole bunch of things coming too.
I hope there is, because some of these things AI is doing, I'm like, this is getting out of hand.
Right.
Okay, this is getting out of hand.
I agree. It's true.
What do you think is like a trend that's like fading away right now?
Well, that's a great question too. I think the era of the long slide heavy programs is really fading fast. People sitting in
Yes.
a theater style, just chairs only, and seeing a screen. Hi, everybody, we're here today to talk about, and then there's a 40 slide deck happening. You're laughing. People don't want to sit through it anymore. They don't want to sit through the hours of presentations, because guess what's happening? Everybody's going on their phones. Everybody's
Yep.
has their heads down. The
Boom.
lights glowing from the phone. And
I'm mentally checked out. Yeah.
right,
Yep.
right. Honestly, it only takes a couple minutes. So instead, they really want really real storytelling to come into play. They want real conversations. They want real community. Podcasts like this are becoming the norm. Real time things, short, digestible, human contact that people can actually connect with. I know I'm going speaking so much here, so it's really not short at this particular moment. But
Don't worry, the production house will cut it up. There'll be a million 30-second clips.
good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Um,
We
but
love it.
but the human content really is what people want to connect with. So we're seeing definitely more opportunities for attendees to engage in real time through apps, through polling, note-taking tools, interactive content that keeps them part of the experience instead of a passive observer. And all of this really ties into the bigger shift, which again, we're going back to the attendee journey. It's that URL, IRL, URL experience. You discover the event digitally, you experience it in person, and then you continue the conversation online afterward. It's a full loop.
Interesting. What do you think is the number one thing that can make an event turn sideways?
You know, quite a few things, right? But misalignment, timing issues, late speakers, the Where's Waldo thing. Where is he? Where is she? AV surprises. Those things happen, and they happen in real time. And you just got to plan for plan B, plan C, plan D all the time. But when the goals and the content and the logistics aren't aligned from the start, and you don't have that core goal sheet, what you're looking for, that's when things really can go sideways. And I'll give you a quick example. I once ran a 300-person healthcare event, private equity event in Boston years ago. It's a beautiful venue. It was right in Cambridge on the water. It was a very high stakes, high profile audience. And suddenly, in the ballroom, the soundboard in the back decided it wanted to operate on its own. It sort of had this very live, loud sound, and it wouldn't stop. And there's the L1 and the L2, which is lighting one, lighting two. There were issues there. There were monitors that weren't calibrated correctly. And the floor timer, that red digital timer on the ground, the stage is up here and the timer's on the ground, completely died for some reason. All you saw was 0000. So all these things were happening like with a matter of like 5 minutes. And my fireside chat that I was having up on stage, and I made it really, really nice. And there were a lot of beautiful leaves and pumpkins and this whole fall thing there. And I actually had a fire on the screen. This whole thing was happening. The whole fireside chat was like literally on fire because it took like 15 to 20 minutes to get everything together. I had to, people were sort of talking. It was just slowly derailing. I was running up to the stage. I lit in a suit and tie, and I'm climbing on speakers, troubleshooting with the AV team while keeping a smile on my face. The young lady that was in the chair, it was a fireside chat, two people. She had long hair and she was going like this with her hair. And she saw me and I was going like this and I was going like this. And she saw and she looked on the ground and she goes, "Oh, we're a little over." And everybody started laughing in the audience. So, the audience sort of knew, obviously, but, you have to come out of it. And then things will go wrong, but alignment, communication, and a calm presence, kept the rest of the day from unraveling. But that's just one example.
Boy, I bet you sleep well after a day like that. You just
Oh,
like
yeah.
hit the
Oh,
bed,
yeah.
and just out.
Yeah, that's a cool story. What's the most unique thing you've ever seen executed at an event?
Sure. Um, I've seen a lot, I've done a lot. I mean, for me, one of the really awesome moments is when the entire audience has that collective, oh my gosh, with that reaction. Like, I love producing those surprises and making that happen. So, I've done executed the 6 to 8 minute surprise drone show for an après ski event. It's cold outside and there was a drone show going on. People were literally gasping like, wow, and the logo was in the air and all of those things and a skier was moving and all of that. I've helped close out a program with private fireworks before. One of my favorites, though, honestly, was in Arizona. I had brought in, and it was a scripted piece, a John Wayne lookalike who rode in on horseback. to deliver key messages, KPI pieces during a closing ceremony for an America's Outsourcing sales team. Totally unexpected. I had the smoke machines going. I had, Arizona type of music. He looked, walked, and talked like True Grit, like John Wayne. The
That's priceless.
Yeah, it was. It was. The gentleman passed away a couple years ago, but he was fantastic. He's sort of a legend in that area of Arizona. Um, I've also seen some incredible tech-driven moments. There were curved LED screens that wrap around the audience and AI-powered personalization that makes the experience feel tailored without being overwhelming. Immersive storytelling spaces that shift as the speaker moves. But at the end of the day, the magic, honestly, is the surprise. So when you create a moment that people talk about for years, like the John Wayne piece, because I ran into somebody in an airport that I haven't seen in a couple of years, and he's like, I still remember, that's where the good stuff is to me. So
That's really
That's
cool, man.
awesome.
So clearly you have a ton of experience. I'm sure there's people out there in our audience who are like, how do I get a hold of Todd and get him to help me with my event? What's the best way to get a hold of you, Todd?
you can reach out to me at LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn profile. Definitely would love to connect with anyone. I'm here to help assist and make events memorable and just have that opportunity to connect with people and bring events to life. If there's one thing I really want to leave people with, it's this little piece that I wrote down for myself. Events are really never one size fits all. Audiences come from all different backgrounds, right? If you think about the events you've gone to, the big power meetings, the big conferences, there's many different types of backgrounds, cultures, religions, identities, and lived experiences that everyone has. They're all different. And in today's world, with everything happening around us right now, even, we as event strategists, planners, meeting managers, event marketers, we have to really look through the lens of the audience more intently than ever. It's really intentional that we have to really think about the bigger picture. So I leave people with events, are sit at the intersection of strategy and the intersection of people. It's like, where do they, when they come together, when they're done well, they just don't create moments. They move relationships, they move revenue, and they move communities forward. So that's really the heart of marketing, is connecting the right message, the right brand to the right audience in a way that feels meaningful, memorable, and human. I know the industry really never stops creating. They never stop listening. They never stop evolving. Again, I go back to COVID. We all had to pivot. Pivoting today again as well. That's what keeps me passionate about the work and the career. I'm excited for whatever comes next, new ideas, new teams, new opportunities, new experiences, so I can create experiences that actually matter to people.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Well,
Well, I
I'm super glad to have had you on the podcast, Todd. Thank you so much. You are the coolest person ever, that you have a whole John Wayne guy show up to your events. I mean, come on, we need to plan an event with you.
and I'm so
Right. Yeah,
jealous.
please do. Please do. Yeah.
This
Thank you.
list of places and events is amazing, and I'm sure we just got to the tip of the iceberg. So what a fascinating life to live as an event planner. So thank you for joining us, and
Thank you for
thanks
the
for being on the
opportunity.
pod.
Of course.
Yeah.
I appreciate it very much. You guys were great, and thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
If you like this podcast, listen for more on Now Boarding. You can subscribe, like, and follow us for more.